and gentlemen, and welcome to another thrilling instalment of A Walk Down Chemory Lane with me, your host, Nick Soff. Now, this week I'm delighted to say that we're joined by former second-team captain and coach of the under-9s, Paul Dotty. How's things, Dotty? How's lockdown treating you, eh?
Good afternoon, Nick. Good afternoon, everybody. Lockdown for the Dotty family, I think, will be pretty much the same as for everybody. We're all in the same boat, aren't we? Luckily, I've got my job that I'm still working full time, so I've got that routine in my life. Kirsty's doing a lot of work from home, and obviously Harry's homeschooling. But we're trying to get out. I've borrowed a bike, so we're getting out into Whitton and Pleasanton, trying to get as much exercise as we can, much fresh air, get into nature and things like that. Cricket-wise, I think I'm missing the social element more than actually playing. I'm missing just having to be able to bob across the road for 20 minutes and get 20 minutes of the third team game in, or sitting on the wall chatting to people like Ian Bickerstaff. And I'm obviously missing the changing room and all the lads. So as for hitting a cricket ball, I don't know it many when I'm playing, so it's not really missing that. It's like I say, it's mainly the social side of things that lockdown's affected. Seems to have affected me more than anything.
Now, as I mentioned earlier, Dotty, you're a former second-team skipper in what was acknowledged as quite a tough time for the club. We had a lot of good, promising youngsters that have now made their way into the first team. But it's been a couple of years since you stepped down now, and I'm intrigued to know, do you prefer your cricket as a captain or just a player where you can concentrate on your own game, eh?
Wow, that's a difficult question, Nick. I think I could safely say I don't miss the time between a Tuesday night and selection and Saturday morning or Saturday dinner time trying to get a team on the pitch, especially for the last time I was second team captain. Selection issues and availability of players was a nightmare. And Alan Robinson once said to me that when I was third team captain, that the third team captain was the hardest job in the club. And I disagreed with him. I said at the time, I said the second team captain has a harder job. With a third team captain on a Sunday, he could go around the bar and get anybody who maybe had played on Saturday to play in the thirds. With a second team, you're worried about 22 players going on the pitch. You're worried about all 11 of the first team and all 11 of the second team to get to a Saturday. And so when availability became a problem when I was the second team captain and the amount of players we had, it wasn't fun from Tuesday to Saturday. But on a Saturday, I enjoyed it as much as I've enjoyed any cricket. I do enjoy bringing the youngsters through, but I just enjoy winning games of cricket and having a hand in trying to win games of cricket. Since I've finished being captain of the side, I like to think I've still got something to give to the captain that I play alongside. And I hope that they can glean some knowledge that I've gained over the 20 odd years I've played. So maybe on the pitch, I do miss being a captain, and I enjoy that more than when I'm not captain, but not from a Tuesday to a Saturday. That became a bit of a nightmare, to be fair, Nick.
Now, it's fair to say that you really are a true cherry man, even with a brief stint at local rivals Fenny. And I'm sure you've been involved in some absolutely stonking matches through the years, so on to the real reason that you're here. Are there any games that stick out, from winning cups to gaining promotions, that you could share a little detail of with us, eh?
Yeah, Nick, I mean, I think it's only probably been about 6 or 7 years where I've been a regular in the second team. Pretty much I've been a third team cricketer throughout my time at Cherry Tree. I think, in my opinion, it's not just about my ability. I do think that the league's standards have dropped to such an extent that, you know, I can regularly play in the second team. Like I say, I joined in 1994 from Blackburn Northern. I'd played my junior cricket at Blackburn Northern, and I didn't think I was getting the fair crack of the whip. Certain people didn't like me. Ronnie Walton. So I came to Cherry Tree in 94, and thankfully, well, me and Incy were mating round together, and so we decided to join. But thankfully, I got into a team where Alan Robinson was the captain. And a lot of people everyone will have heard a lot of things about Alan Robinson in the past few years. So my take on Alan is that he reignited love of the game because he played the game and wanted to play the game A, in the right manner, but B, with a smile on your face. But most importantly, and this is the one that really, really, really I loved, was he wanted to win every game of cricket. But to do it in the right way, and we had a laugh. And that team in '94 when we won the league, there was Incy and Ellie. They'd made their debuts. I made my debut the week before. There are a few people that have probably been forgotten about at the club now, but the likes of Keith Grogan, he took over from Alan as captain. The Yarnells, Lee and Peter Yarnell, they were winners and wanted to play with a smile on their face. There were the McGlone twins, who were good friends of mine. They were ushers at my wedding. There was Incy. I'm trying to think now, but that Barry Gregson. So there was it was a really good team, but a good team spirit, and that team spirit I think carried us. We won the title that year in 1994, and just won. God, there's loads and loads of stories I've got about that year. I can remember 1994 season better than I can remember what happened 2 or 3 years ago. But 1994, just one thing, because we're on social media and we've got video lives and Facebook lives and what have you. When we won the league in 1994, the last game was at Earby, and I was going to university and I was missing the last game. I played all season, and the only game I missed by the first one when I wasn't signed on, was Earby away in the last game of the season when they needed to win the league. And I went to Ipswich University, and I didn't find out about the third team winning the league until the Wednesday, when I got two letters, one from Andy Robb and one from Incy, both with descriptions of how we won the game. Now, I know it wasn't the dark ages, but back then there were no mobile phones, and I had to walk about 3 miles to get to a phone box to ring home. There was no phone in my accommodation that I was in. So I found out we won the league in '94 with a letter from Incy and a description and a diagram from Andy Robb of how Barry Gregson took the winning catch at Earby. So it's a bit different now when we've got Twitter live feeds going here, there and everywhere. Yeah, so that was the 1994. So Alan Robinson was the first influence on me. And his love of third team cricket was in for the whole, but his love of Cherry Tree, first and foremost. But then his love of third team cricket and how it should be played and what he wanted the club to get from third team cricket. And so from playing with him for half a season and then drinking with him in the bar afterwards, I learnt a lot about the club early on. But we really did reignite my love of cricket. So fast forward to the game I'm going to talk about, 2005, my personal best day on a cricket pitch. So not just, I was the captain, I became captain of the third team. I've been captain for a couple of seasons, but personally it was my best performance as Paul Doherty was this game. It was the last game of the season against Ednefield. I don't know how many games we'd lost in 1994, but in 2005 we played 22 games and we lost 2. Now it was done on points averages. So Clitheroe played 16 games and lost 2. So going into the last game, we needed to win, but we needed the bonus points as well. So this team we had in 2005, I just the year before captained Amma Mirza, Joe Bolton, Jack Kennedy and Scott Friend in their first seasons of senior cricket. And most of them had moved on to the seconds and some of them even the first team. I think they're all over in the seconds. Scott played a couple of games for the thirds that year, and Joe possibly 1 or 2. Jack played maybe more than that. He played in the last game, this game in Ednefield. So Scott, Amma and Joe had gone through, and we had Mark Friend, Sam Robbins and Anika Sam. So if you think about that, in the third team in 2005, we had a future Darwin first 11 captain and a future cricket professional, Ribblesdale League professional playing. Anik scored, probably got 2 or 3 50s that year, and Mark batted at 3, and maybe didn't score the big runs, but I do think that kind of exposure to, which was a fair standard in the third team, but at 13 years old, he was getting exposure to senior players batting at 3 every week. So I hope that helped him in his development. And Scott, Joe and Hammer had come through that team. Hammer had scored 100 the year before in the thirds, in probably one of the most unbelievable knocks for a 13-year-old, 14-year-old lad you're ever likely to see. So in that team, we had those kind of youngsters in. We had another couple of sort of just slightly older. Robert Johnson was one of my bowlers, Bobby Johnson. And then we had 5 or 6. It's what I like to call proper winners. I got my winning mentality, wanting to win, from Alan Robb. I'll go back to Alan Robb in a minute. He, like I say, reignited my love of the game.